All right, what is up? We're back for another one, back-to-back drafts today. If you're in the chat, let me know. We had a bit of a technical issue in the FFPC draft we did earlier, but wanted to make sure you guys got another draft. Maybe this one will go a little smoother. I'm just sharing the link on X. Make sure you're following me on X, Draft Room Baller. And we'll get going here as soon as this starts. We just drew, I think we drew the same one, the 8 spot. No, we were in the 9 spot earlier. There we go. Jamie, what's up, brother? Let me know if my sound's okay, just because I had some issues earlier. You guys have probably seen Jamie. He's pretty active out there in the, why can't I move this? For some reason I can't move my where the chat is. You know what? We'll leave it there. Hopefully you guys can see it okay. You guys can hear me okay. Might put on a bit of music. Always a little more fun. Get some background action going. All right. We are live. Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate it, man. So go check it out. Earlier I did an FFPC Never Too Early Superflex. Unfortunately, the first few rounds, the first like almost half of the draft, the sound was horrible. I don't know. I needed to reboot the laptop, and it sounded like Voltron, like a robot for some reason. But I did post the second half. I came back on live, and everything was smooth. I actually got a pretty good build, so go check that out on the channel on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any drafts. Make sure you like, just to help support. I'm trying to put out content for you guys, help you guys get better at best ball. All right, let's see here. Get set up properly. Jamie, how you doing today, brother? All right, so this is a 1 QB, start 3 receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, PPR, 1 flex. Let's see who falls to us here in the... Let's see if I can move this. I can get a better view. There we go. There we go. Now we're set. All right, CeeDee Lamb falls to us. I mean, hard for me to pass that up. Dak is back this year. Should be back anyways. Actually, if anyone's got some info on that, I haven't looked that up in a while, now that I think about it. Let's look it up here, see if there's any news on... Last time I saw anything, he was on track to start the season. I'm not seeing anything on it. If you guys have any news on it, let me know in the chat. Appreciate you guys joining. All right, we're getting back on the clock here. We started with CeeDee Lamb. Ooh. You know what? Let's have some fun, man. Let's get some Ashton Genty. I mean, this guy's definitely the 101. Definitely in 1 QB in the upcoming rookie draft. I haven't heard anything bad about this kid. Saw him being interviewed by, oh man, Chucky, who was the Vegas coach before he got dropped. Why can't I think right now? John Gruden. That's it. There's no timeline, but said he'll be ready for the season. All right. Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I've been drafting him as if he's coming back. Same with Lamb. I mean, Prescott, usually pretty good value in drafts. Lamb, every once in a while he'll fall to the back end. I'm always there to get him, especially if I'm like in that 7-8 range. For me, he's in that Jefferson Chase range. Just people, I think, are discounting him right now just because the... let me know if the volume's okay there, Jamie. I don't want to be like screaming in anyone's ear. Or hopefully the music-voice combo is working good on your end. So yeah, Bowers goes at the end of the first. Even though this is not tight end premium, he's still going in that first round. Just he usually goes FFPC mid-round. McBride is usually the second round tight end. Those two are pretty much the top two 100% of the time. I've never seen anything different in a draft. If you've seen it, let me know. Appreciate it, Jamie. What's up, Drafters Fantasy? Appreciate you guys joining, man. Loving the platform. Loving the tournament. This tournament is for $25K, guys. $10 buy-in. I will have a promo code soon set up. Just waiting for that to get ironed out, and then we'll have that for you guys, so you guys can get something back, a little something back. Let's see. We've got Genty and Lamb so far. I'm going to go Marvin Harrison. You got to think he bounces back this season. Mike Evans is usually my go-to in this range. But you got to mix up those builds, you know, especially if you know you're going to build a portfolio in these tournaments. Right now, this tournament's about half full, last I checked. So make sure you get in there. $10 buy-in. They've got a $3 buy-in as well with a 25. I think it's 25,000 total prize pool. This one's 25,000 for first. Nothing like drafting on a Tuesday afternoon. Best ball. I put out. Make sure you're checking me out on TikTok. I put out at least one video a day. I put out a video yesterday on a sleeper pick. And one guy commented that, because I think my title was "Nobody's talking about this giant" or something like that. And this guy came on and said, yeah, nobody's talking about it because it's March. Nobody's talking fantasy football. I'm talking about fantasy football. I know you guys are if you're watching. We talk fantasy football 365. So make sure you're following on YouTube, X, TikTok, Draft Room Baller. I'm putting out content on the regular. We're doing at least 2 or 3 live best ball drafts. We're going to start getting some guests on. Ooh, I love me some Worthy. I don't think I have any Jaden Daniels. You know what? Why not? Let's go Jaden. I don't think I have any yet. I'm not usually an early QB guy. I've got some Hurts builds with Jalen just because if I have like A.J. Brown or something like that, I like to get the stack going. But Daniels is one of those guys that, I mean, if you have him naked, he's fine. If you can stack him, you stack him. But again, you want to make sure you sprinkle in enough of these guys in your. You don't want to full fade a lot of these guys in the first few rounds, anyways. So I like to mix it up. Usually what I do in the first few rounds will kind of determine how the rest of my build goes, whether it's stacking, balancing out positions. That's the fun thing about these best ball drafts is you can build teams so many different ways. Let me know what you think so far if you're in the comments. If you're watching this later on, drop a comment. Make sure you smash the like button. It's always appreciated. This is a pretty nice range for receivers. I don't think the guy on my thumbnail is going to make it back to me. I got lucky earlier with my thumbnail. I had Cam Ward on there, and I ended up with a nice Titan Falcons stack combo in a super flex build. So this one probably not going to make it back to us, but he is a guy I think is a value. I'll bring up his name once he's taken. I don't want to. table talk, as they say at the poker table. There he goes. So Rome Odunze, I think, is nice value right now in drafts. I mean, you can, that whole kind of tier from Godwin, Smith, Worthy. Worthy's probably my favorite out of them. Odunze's definitely there. I'm a Worthy over Rice guy. Let me know what you think about the KC Chiefs receivers. I just feel like Rice has a health concern still. As much as they're saying he'll be back early, he still has a court situation to deal with, whereas Worthy, from what I understand, has been proven that there's no issue there. He was cleared of all charges from what I understand, and there shouldn't be a suspension. Who knows with the NFL? Man, these Chiefs just cannot stay out of trouble, whether he is or not. It's unbelievable. So we started from the 8th spot with Jaden Daniels, Genty, Lamb, and Harrison. Nothing out of the norm so far. I mean, the 12 spot double tap Jackson and Allen for a 1 QB, two quarterbacks in the first 4 rounds is, I don't know how optimal that is. Again, I'm not normally a quarterback early type of drafter, but yeah, that's what I understood. That's exactly what I understood. Were they being falsely accused? All right, so I see a teardrop coming here. I'm not going to reach. Never like to reach. So I'm going to take Zay Flowers. Yeah, it's so funny. It's funny you say that, Jamie. So Jamie says, didn't the 12 spot do that the last draft that we streamed on this platform on Drafters? I'm pretty sure he did. Go check that out. Like I said, guys, I'm dropping 2 or 3 live drafts a week minimum. And yeah, last time Jamie was on, I think we were doing a Drafters and the 12 spot did the exact same thing. I'll have to go back to see if it's the same guy. I doubt it. That would be pretty crazy. McMillan goes off the board. He's an interesting guy right now. You keep hearing that he might be falling a bit in the NFL draft that's coming up. Who knows, right? Who knows? You never know until the day, that weekend, until, you know, these NFL teams, we try to, you've got all the mock drafts happening right now, and we try to predict what's going to happen, but we have no idea, man. Right now, it seems like Cam Ward is going to Tennessee in the 1 spot. Genty, you hear Vegas, you hear Chicago. That's the beauty of it, right? Draft night comes and we could be surprised, which is nice. That's what we want, right? For me personally, I rather surprises. I rather see stuff that I didn't expect. I just find it makes it way more interesting. More exciting. Ruffles up the fantasy lineups, the fantasy draft rooms. That's the beauty of it, right? All right, so Debo's on the board. I'm going to take Debo and stack him up with Jaden Daniels here. Pretty happy with that. I usually like to stack my top guys, like my first few position picks, but when Commanders is sitting there and you've got Daniels, it's hard not to take him. You gotta think that Samuel bounces back this year, no matter how, you know, quote unquote washed up you think he is, no matter how old you think he is. I think a lot of times we see these guys in new situations kind of get a second life back, right? And I think it'll do it for Samuel. He's going to, I mean, let's face it, a team that's a contender, right? What do you think of mixing value that late? I like him. So Jamie's asking about Mixon's value. I don't mind sprinkling him in. We saw him do really well last year, especially early in the season in Houston. So Mixon last year gave you 7 RB1 weeks. He only played 14 games, so missed about 3 games. And 9, so 2 RB2 games and 7 RB1. So 50% of the time. I mean, that's not bad, to be honest, as an RB1. And that's kind of his range. Like from 2001 to 2004, he's been an RB1 7 weeks and then 6 weeks in 2022. So that seems to be what he gives you, which in the, what is this? He got taken the 5th round. That's what you could expect from those guys. So I don't mind them, especially if you're doing like a not necessarily 0 RB because that'd be a little early, but if you're starting your RBs a bit later or he's your RB2, I don't hate it at all. So the 5 spot, started with JT. Started with JJ, but his first running back that he took was JT. So Mixon as an RB2 is nice. Follows it up with a Connor. I actually like his build so far. JJ, Adams, Worthy, and Cup. A lot of people are down on Cup, but again, you know, I think he fits in that offense well. Him and JSN, just guys that can get open, right? All right, so let's... I'm actually going to go Aaron Jones here. Could have gone Caleb Johnson. Yeah, I probably should have gone Caleb Johnson here. But again, Jones last year, I think you got to remember, right? JJ McCarthy comes in as a rookie. Like, for me, he's a rookie. It's pretty much his rookie season. So, kind of like I talked about in the earlier stream with rookie quarterbacks leaning on tight ends, offenses in general will lean on the running game when they have a rookie coming in. So, Jones gave you 5 RB1 weeks last year, some nice spike weeks. And if they bring some, I mean, they have Mason there, and I really like Mason, actually. That's usually who I'm taking. So it's kind of like the stock market, right? I like to hedge on guys that I'm heavier on. I'm pretty heavy on Mason. I don't have a lot of Aaron Jones, so that's more of a hedge play. And Caleb Johnson falls to us anyways. So pretty happy with that. It's one of those, right? I talk about it often when it comes to fantasy football. We don't know shit, guys. I used to say it all the time in the GOAT District. We don't know shit. We think we know, especially this time of year, March. We think we know what's going to happen. Yeah, you know, they bring in Mason, which is an awesome pickup for the Vikings. I love that. And I have so much... I was looking up the other day what my average draft position for him is. I was drafting him and Harris, Najee Harris are guys that I have a lot of exposure from before the free agent. So let me look at where I'm at. So his ADP is 112 right now, and my average draft position for Mason is 175. So again, and I'm at about 20% ownership. So again, Aaron Jones, more of a hedge here. And it's not that I don't think Aaron Jones is going to produce. That's what it's kind of getting at, is even if these guys, let's say it's like a 60-40 to start the season at least. I mean, look, Aaron Jones, 30 years old, over 200 carries last year, which is why I love the Mason pickup. And they might still add like a depth piece, right, at the running back position, but that's a high-scoring offense. Even with J.J. McCarthy, this should be a high-scoring offense that maybe leans on the run a bit more this year. So, me just justifying my pick there. But again, we got Caleb Johnson on the way back. So, if you guys watch my streams, you know I like to get at least 2 or 3 of the rookie running backs in my builds. me know what you think of the build so far, guys. We got Jane Daniels, Gianti, Aaron Jones, Caleb Johnson, CeeDee Lamb, Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, and Deebo Samuel. I'm going to throw in a bit of Shaheed. Big fan of Shaheed. I mean, before he got hurt last year. Yeah, before he got hurt last year in the first 5 weeks, sorry. He gave you 16, 20, 17, and 18 fantasy points. Yeah, you nailed it right there, Jamie. They complement each other nicely, which should help a guy, you know, that's 30 years old, coming off of as many touches as he did in Aaron Jones. It's my mouse here. There we go. All right, I'm going to take Prescott here. I'm going to go with a two quarterback build. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's return yards. I don't know if Drafters Fantasy's still in the room, but if they are, maybe they can help us out with that. I don't think there is. Let me see what I can find out here. So scoring. Oh, there you go. Kickoff, return, touchdown, punt, return, touchdowns. There you go. Look at that. I mean, you're not getting yards, but if Buddy returns a touchdown, I didn't even think you're getting points for that. So punt and kickoff return, 6 points for the touchdown. So a little bonus if he does somehow run it back, and that's if he's returning kicks. Jamie adding value to the chat. Appreciate it, brother. So end of the 10th round. So far we've got Jane Daniels and Prescott. Most likely gonna go with a 2 quarterback build here. Actually, we'll see about that. We'll see what's available later, just because with Prescott, I'm just thinking if Prescott, for some reason, is not ready right off the bat, we might want to get like a late round. All right. Switch this up here. I'm not feeling these beats. I don't know about you guys. Let's see what we can find here. Playlist. Let's see. Switch it up a bit. Get a little different feel here. So far we've got 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, and 5 receivers. Ooh. I'm gonna go likely here. I really like likely. Excuse the punt. Just, you know, it's one of those things. Like, eventually you got to see the changing of the guard in Baltimore, and he's so efficient. You got to think that Baltimore will want to get him the ball more. So last year finished tight end 19 fantasy points per game. Again, he was kind of, you know, we saw a lot of Mark Andrews, especially in the red zone with those touchdowns. Actually, Likely had pretty good 6 touchdowns last year. Tight end 8. I didn't realize he had that many. Yards per reception, 11.4, so he was tight end 9. Yards per target, tight end 11. Target separation, he was tight end 5 with 2.41. So efficient player, and you got to think that they get him more involved this year. How old is he? He'll be 25, so 24.9. Yeah, so he'll be 25, I guess, when the season starts. All right, I see some pretty nice options here. Could double tap. You know what? I'm going to double tap. I kind of like this combo of Likely and Goddard. I know some people don't like Goddard. I mean, when he came back last year, he was awesome. And in the playoffs, he was awesome. So I like Goddard. I think he complements a guy like Likely well. So he finished tight end 10 last year, fantasy points per game, with only 2 touchdowns, right, in 10 games. So you got to think that he's he's not a touchdown guy. I'm just kind of looking right now. So he had 3 touchdowns his last 2 seasons. So maybe not necessarily a big red zone guy, especially with you got the tush push, you got Barkley. I still think he gets more involved next year. If we look at his game log, where do I pull that? Why can't I find his game log? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so against Washington, 7 for 85. Check one more thing here before we're back. So we're in the 13th. Let me bring this down so you guys can see a bit better. So yeah, Goddard last year in 10 games, 50% of those he was a tight end 1. Another 4 games gave you tight end 2. But he was injured, man. Like from week 5 to week 9, he was out. And then 14 to 17, he was out. Usually, you know, it's tough to get in the groove with a season like that, dealing with a couple injuries. So you got to think he comes back just more involved in that offense. All right, let's see what we have here. I'm going to go Jaden Higgins here. Wandell is attractive just with, you got to think at least Winston is there. But we don't have any rookie receivers. I like sprinkling in at least 1, 2, if not 3 rookies at each position when I'm talking about running back and receiver. Let me know what rookies you guys are drafting right now. I know, especially later in the drafts, there's so many nice options. And again, we think we know where these guys are going in the NFL draft. We have no idea. So we'll see what happens in a month. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Hollywood Brown. He's a guy that I actually do have quite a bit of on drafters. Let me go back to my player ownership. All right, we're back on the clock here. Let me just make my pick. Ooh. All right, nice little tight end 3 in Zach Ertz. Stack him with Jaden Daniels. I like that. So Hollywood Brown, I have like 22% ownership. You just kept hearing, I've been drafting since January. And as soon as the season ended, you were hearing that Mahomes wanted him back. And I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Oh, I think Josh Allen is a guy that mentioned Hollywood Brown, wanting him to, you know, join the Bills. So when you have some of the top quarterbacks in the league expressing, yeah, so have I, Jamie, with talking about Igboku and Golden. I took Golden in the draft I did earlier today. Go check that out on the YouTube channel. But those are two of the receivers I'm probably drafting the most when it comes to rookies, are Igboku and Golden, which is why I went a little different with this build. So far, after 14 rounds, Jane Daniels and Dak Prescott, Gianti, Aaron Jones, Caleb Johnson. Receivers are CeeDee Lamb, Harrison, Flowers, Deebo Samuel for the stack, Shaheed and Higgins, and then likely Goddard, Ertz. So very content with my tight ends. My receivers are pretty good. This is a start 3 receivers, so probably at least 1 or 2 more receivers will be added. We're going 20 rounds here. So yeah, it's funny. Trey Harris is a guy you're starting to hear more and more guys plant flags on him, right? Trying to remember who the guy was on with Balky the other night on the FFPC show, the high stakes show. He was one of the Untouchables guys. Oh man, I'm brutal with names. But he was saying he had Trey Harris as his one. All right, I'm gonna take Eckler here again. Not a guy I draft often, but with Jaden Daniels, you got to think he's good for between him and Deebo. Yeah, you're naming a bunch of guys that I've been drafting. Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel is looking really good going into the draft. He started flashing, like shining a lot at the Senior Bowl. Biggs has Harris as wide receiver 1. Yeah, I've heard a few guys this week talk about Trey Harris being their wide receiver 1. So if you can get him this late in drafts, again, all these guys, I mean, their values can go up or down, right? We might think NFL teams like these guys, and next thing you know, they're, you know, day 3, day 4 type guys. So Giddens goes. I'm going to go Ollie Gordon, excuse me. Just want to check something here. Yeah, RJ Harvey and Giddens, obviously good values. Rookie QBs, I mean, I'll throw in some Ward just because we have an idea. I mean, now you're just hearing that he's most likely going to Tennessee. So, like, the build I did earlier was a super flex. I was late. I took Penix in the 5th round as my first QB after loading up at running back and tight end and receiver. So yeah, because we had McBride on that build. So I did add Ward, and there's guys later on. There's a couple other guys I do like in Dart. I don't mind throwing him late. Like if I want to go 3 QBs and I'm waiting later, I might throw him as my QB3 and a 1 QB. Who's the other guy? Milroy's the other one that I added as my 4th quarterback. I think it was second last round in a Superflex tournament, so I don't mind the upside there. But yeah, it's rare that I'm building around a rookie tight end or a rookie quarterback with this class. I mean, Ward can go either way. You know, when the class is not strong at a position, the first guy off the board, especially going 101, we've seen it in Pickett. We've seen guys go off and not necessarily give that production, especially right away. But I don't know. I'm optimistic with him going to Tennessee. He does have some weapons there with Ridley, Chig. You got to think they're going to, you know, kind of build that situation for him so he can be successful. I really like Slayton. I put out a TikTok video, or actually I dropped it on YouTube today too as a short, but I like Slayton at his value right now with at least Winston being there. Winston can throw that long ball. Slayton, I think, wide receiver 21, air yards. And wait, I don't want to just talk out of my butt here. Go check out my TikTok, guys. One video at least a day, all fantasy football related, best ball related. Yeah, so air yards per target for Slayton, wide receiver 22 with 13.1. So that's a good question. Welcome, Jimmy. Appreciate you joining the chat. I think that the depth of the class, especially at the running back position, and there's kind of like a flatness at the receiver position with so many guys running fast 40s and just athletically shining in the combine. I think there will be guys popping. It's just who will it be depending. I mean, obviously draft capital and where they land will be a big. Hold on, let me make my pick here. All right, let's go Besh or Beck. Not really sure how he says that. Again, you just want to sprinkle some of these rookies in, right, into your builds to make sure that you don't want too many in your builds, Jimmy. That's kind of the one. Like right now I've got Gianti, Caleb, and Gordon in my running backs. So I usually sprinkle 2 or 3 in my running back builds. And then our receiver, I've got Jaden Higgins and Beck. So 5 is probably where I'm comfortable. We've got, what, 2 more picks. The thing is, in these late rounds is these guys are probably giving you 1 or 2 weeks of production in your build. You're really depending on your top guys. So you want to take swings at upside to give them a chance to fit into your weekly scoring, right? So, you know, you look at some of these guys that are available down here. We already know what we have in a lot of these guys. You know, Watson's coming off of huge injury. Butte did look good in New England last year. He gave a lot of production. Parker Washington, I mean, with Kirk there now. And you got to think they bring in more receiver help in the draft. So a lot of these guys that you find in this range are going to get pushed down by these rookies. So I'm trying to take swings at rookies later in the draft. Excuse me. Got the heat in here, so it's drying up. So I do think you're going to find, because of kind of the depth and the flatness, especially at receiver, I think some of these guys are going to land in good spots and they are going to get opportunities. It just really depends. Like landing spot, draft capital is really going to decide. The thing is now we don't know. The uncertainty is pushing the value on these guys down. So now I feel like is a good time to take swings at these guys. Some of these guys are going to skyrocket up ADP boards, and some of them are going to get pushed down and might end up not even, you know, getting drafted in these same drafts, let's say in June or July. We see it every year, right? So we're in the 19th round. We got 2 more picks here. Jaden Daniels, Dak Prescott at quarterback, Genty, Aaron Jones, Caleb Johnson, Eckler, and Gordon. Speaking of, I'm going to take Estime. I just think in Denver, I mean, even if you got to think they're bringing in a running back, but I mean, we saw it last year with kind of that, what's the word I'm looking for? The committee back situation. You got to think, wow, what's his name? Wow, I'm total blank. I met him on the beach in Mexico last year. Sean Payton. Wow. I got a picture with him and everything. Walking on the beach with my wife in Mexico. Went with the wife's family for a family trip, and walking in the morning with my wife, and I see Sean Payton. This was like the summer before he joined Denver. So last summer. Nicest guy. Was super nice, friendly. Took a picture with him, the whole deal. But at the running back position, you guys know these guys get hurt, right? So even if they bring in a rookie, they bring in like a stud kind of workhorse running back. If that happens, there's always the possibility of injury. And we saw Estime. I think I'm going to go... Yeah, I'm going to go Jarquez Hunter just to finish it off against, just get that upside. But if we look at Estime, was that a playoff game? Am I thinking about playoffs? Go to the good old game log. Yeah, I mean, for some reason I was thinking he did something in that playoff game, but maybe not. Either way, I mean, he's coming off of a rookie season, right? Played 13 games, only a couple touchdowns. Swings, yeah, there's Joe. What's up, Joe? Appreciate you joining, brother. And that's the thing, right? You're looking at the last two rounds of the you want these guys to give you maybe 1 week. That's what you're looking for. So Denver drafts a running back. He's hurt or doesn't play 1 week. Maybe doesn't start necessarily the season as the workhorse. You want 1 or 2 weeks at most from these guys. Like that's what you expect, not what you want, but that's what you expect. And that's kind of why the rookies are fun to take swings at, because they probably have a higher ceiling. But you got to mix it up. Again, I'm not going heavy on Audric Estime, but you want 1 or 2 shares in your build, especially if you're doing volume. So let me read my my build here to you guys. Appreciate you guys joining. Make sure you smash the like button. Me bringing at least 2 or 3 live drafts all off season. I'm going to start getting some guests on for you guys. So here's the build. Jaden Daniels and Dak Prescott. Ashton Genty, Aaron Jones, Caleb Johnson, Austin Eckler for the Washington stack, Ollie Gordon, Estime, and Jarquez Hunter, CeeDee Lamb, Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, Deebo Samuel with the stack, Rashid Shaheed, Jaden Higgins, Darius Slayton, and Jack Beck. And then you've got Isaiah Likely, Goddard, and Ertz to complete the Commanders stack and the tight end position. So pretty happy with it. Nice mix. You always want a balance, right? That's the thing when you ask that question, Jimmy, about the rookies, is you don't want to go too heavy on the rookies. And but if you went, let's say for example, my receivers, right? I've got like 5 pretty solid vet starters in Lamb, Harrison, Flowers, Samuel, and Shaheed. So I'm comfortable. And then I've got Slayton, right? That's going to give you those spike weeks. So I'm comfortable adding a couple swings at the rookie receivers. And then when you look at my running backs, I've got Genty, Caleb Johnson, Ollie Gordon, and Jazquez Hunter. But then I've got a guy like Aaron Jones, Eckler, Estime. So maybe normally I would probably switch out one of those rookie running backs for a vet or someone that's more established. But having said that, if Genty and Johnson both smash and they end up in really good situations where they're either workhorse or big producers for you, then you're fine having guys like Gordon and Hunter at the end there where you're taking swings. And like I said, a guy like Estime, you're hoping you get 1 or 2 weeks out of him. My tight ends, I think, are pretty solid with likely Goddard and Ertz. And then my quarterbacks, as long as Dak starts the season, I'm content with a 2 quarterback build with those two. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Joe, Jimmy, Jamie, appreciate the JJJ team in the chat today. You guys were awesome. I appreciate you guys joining. And drop some comments. Let me know what you think of the build. Let me know where you think I went wrong. If you like the build, let me know. Smash the like button. And again, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, and X, the Draft Room Baller. I'm here to help you guys in all aspects of fantasy, all off season. Guys, have a great afternoon. We'll check you later.